Hi, I'm Denise from the Communities team at the National Football Museum. The museum's collection is packed with the history of the game of our lives. In this video, I'll be taking you through 11 museum objects all about the influence of design and technology in football. Our first object is this T-ball from the 1930 World Cup. Early footballs like this were hand-stitched from leather panels to make a protective case around the balloon-like bladder. After trying lots of different panel shapes, designers found that pentagons and hexagons fit together like a puzzle. This is best demonstrated with the iconic 1970 Adidas Telstar. Today, footballs are not stitched at all. The synthetic panels are thermally bonded. This process is much less labour-intensive and therefore cheaper to make in large numbers. This 2010 World Cup Jabulani ball was very controversial because the design aimed at making the flight of the ball straighter and quicker actually made it more erratic, and Spanish goalkeeper Iker Casillas famously described it as a beach ball. Next we have these boots, designed and endorsed by Preston North End legend Tom Finney. Originally, football boots would have been adapted from work boots with leather studs nailed in and would have been heavy and cumbersome. Alongside his equally admired counterpart Stanley Matthews, these players were the first to appreciate design and function in football boots. They took inspiration from continental boots, making them lighter and more flexible. They were also two of the first players to benefit financially from sponsorship deals. Modern-day boots, such as these customised ones worn by England's Gemma Bonner, are a mix of synthetic and natural materials, making them lightweight, colourful and durable. Our third objects are these Shinpads, made from bamboo sticks for structure and cotton for padding. At first, footballers didn't wear anything to protect their shins, but cricketer Sam Widdowson felt it was necessary to cut down his cricket pads and wear them whilst playing his other favourite sport, football. The idea was at first ridiculed, but then it caught on. Today, shin guards are back again, but now made of synthetic materials to ensure they are light, strong and comfortable. Our next object tells the history of football shirts. This is an England shirt worn in the first ever international match against Scotland in 1872. It's made from wool, which would be very itchy and too hot in the summer, and wet and pretty heavy in the winter. This Bolton Wanderers shirt from 80 years later was trialled in 1953. It was one of the first man-made fabric shirts produced by Umbro when they faced Blackpool in the FA Cup final. They were designed to be reflective and therefore stand out more during floodlit evening matches. But after some initial experimentation with these artificial silk shirts, the concept was short-lived. In 2010, Manchester design guru Peter Saville was asked to design a New England shirt. Saville included the cross of St George, a motif he thought had been devalued due to its association with nationalistic spirit and hooliganism. The inclusion of the St George's cross was Saville's attempt to claim it back and have it represent the country's diverse society. Both his England home and goalkeeper shirts are on display in the museum's Play Gallery, with an interview from the man himself. Our fifth object is this 3D model of Manchester City's Sergio Aguero, created for the EA Sports FIFA series. The museum was lucky enough to welcome Sergio to our Pitch to Pixel exhibition back in 2015. Technology has enabled people to create their dream football team, playing competitive leagues in realistic stadiums with a matchday atmosphere. People have always wanted to simulate what makes football such a fascinating game to play and watch. Whether it be Subbuteo or board games, the museum has several examples in its collection. Our sixth object is all about the development of floodlights. This floodlight bulb is from Preston North End. Before the invention of floodlights, football was restricted to daylight, which is particularly limiting in the English winter. The first electric floodlights were trialled over 140 years ago in 1878 at Bramall Lane, Sheffield. After the First World War, a football match was played at night time for charity. At Deepdale in Preston, Dick Kerr ladies used 2 searchlights and painted the footballs white to play soccer by searchlight. Over 10,000 spectators attended and they raised hundreds of pounds for injured soldiers. The first modern floodlights were installed in the 1930s by trailblazing Arsenal manager Herbert Chapman. Unfortunately, once they were put up, local authorities wouldn't let them be used. Object 7 are these wooden seats taken from the old Wembley Stadium and on display at the museum. Seats like these were commonplace until the advent of plastic seating in stadiums during the 1980s. This change was made law after the Bradford Valley Parade fire in 1985, where 56 fans sadly died. Investigations concluded that the fire was caused by a dropped cigarette igniting rubbish below the stands, with the fire spreading much quicker due to the flammable materials in the old wooden stand. Object 8 sees us go from developments in the stands to developments on the pitch. Since the invention of AstroTurf back in the mid-1960s for US baseball team, the Houston Astros, artificial turf has been used in many sports as a replacement to natural grass. Some English teams followed the trend and installed so-called plastic pitches in the early 1980s. This square of turf has come from one of those pioneers, Luton Town. This experimental pitch was deemed unsuitable for football, making the ball move unpredictably and causing players to lose their footing and injure themselves. As a result, the FA banned artificial pitches in 1988. However, artificial football pitch design has evolved to combine natural grass and a small proportion of artificial fibres, and AstroTurf is making a comeback. We now come to players' personal equipment. Object 9 is a rather large pair of contact lenses from the museum's collection. Worn by Nobby Stiles throughout the 1966 World Cup, contact lenses have clearly progressed from 50 years ago. Players including David De Gea and Cristiano Ronaldo wear contact lenses today, but they're much smaller than the ones Nobby wore back in '66. Other items of personal protection in the museum's collection are headguards. Football's most famous headguard wearer must be former Chelsea and Arsenal keeper Petr Cech. The legendary shot-stopper wore a headguard following his life-threatening collision with Reading's Stephen Hunt in 2006, and it became his trademark. The museum also has a headguard belonging to England and Team GB cerebral palsy footballer Alistair Patrick-Heselton. Following a car accident that left him in a coma for 2 months, Patrick-Heselton went on to have a successful career topped off with playing at London 2012 Paralympic Games. The headguard was donated to the museum by Alistair following his induction into the museum's Hall of Fame in 2017. Our 11th and final object is this leather Gladstone medical bag. Used in the early 1900s, this bag would likely have contained liniment, bandages and those all-important smelling salts to wake up unconscious or dazed players. Nowadays, pitch-side medical staff include a club doctor, physio, stretcher team, medical equipment and immediate access to an ambulance. This has been vital on several occasions, including Fabrice Muamba's cardiac arrest in an FA Cup match between Bolton Wanderers and Tottenham Hotspur in 2012. Muamba has become a leading advocate for public access to defibrillators and launched his Hearts and Goals campaign in 2012. So that's our 11 museum objects on design and technology advances in football. But what objects would you include? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel and head to nationalfootballmuseum.com to find out more about the objects we featured today.